Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a story time. It's going to be quite an angry story time if I'm going to be honest. Yes, so this whole story time is around the topic of exchanging Bath & Body Works candles for new Bath & Body Works candles. So basically, this weekend I was on the hunt. I was on the prowl for the Times New Roman candles. So, Summer Boardwalk, Suntan, the Bonfire one, all of those candles, I was on the search for those. So, I called around to all the different stores in my, in the vicinity, and only one store told me that they had them. I think this was on like a Wednesday or something like that. So, I was just going to call ahead of time to make sure I knew what store to go to. And right when they release new Bath & Body Works candles, right when they put them on the floor, most of the time, they are always full price, $22.50 on these candles in this case. So, by the way, I'm sorry if I'm, like, making mouth noises, like chewing sounds, and they're annoying you. I have to chew gum during videos. I have to. I'm sorry. But my mouth gets dry, and it's not cute if I don't chew gum, so sorry. But, so I called around to all these different stores, and only one store told me they had them. And my mall that I typically go to is set up like they have one Bath & Body Works White Barn in the center, kind of like the middle of the mall, like where everyone, like it's a very popular side of the mall. And so they have that big one there. It's a little bit bigger than the other one. So they have that there. That's the one, okay, I'm sorry. That's the one that I typically go to, just because, I don't know, it's convenient. I know the sales associates there. They're always friendly. They never have, like, given me problems or anything like that. And there's another store down on the less popular end of the mall. It's the Bath & Body Works White Barn as well. And, so, yeah, there's that other store there. And so that's like an option, I guess, if you want to, you know, if you need another store to go to. I don't know why you would need that, but in this situation, I thought that I would have to go there. So, basically, I called them on Wednesday, or Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe it was Thursday, I don't know. I was going to the mall on a Friday. So, I was calling around stores. I was like, do you have the Times New Roman Summer Boardwalk, blah, 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 candles? Every store that I called, when I called, was like, no. Except for this one store, the less popular end of the mall. And mind you, I forgot to tell you this, but I never, ever, ever go there. I haven't been there since they opened before the one in the center of the mall. They opened before them, and I went there right around fall, and then the one in the middle of the mall opened at, like, December or something like that. So I only went there at the beginning, like, right when they were open, just because they were the only White Barn near me. So, I dread going there every time. I mean, it's not that I've necessarily had awful experiences there. I've had weird problems there with coupons, using coupons, on the 850 candle day. What else have I had problems with? Just, like, every time that we go in there, like, it's not only me. My mom notices it, too. Like, we walk out of there, and we're like, God, why are they so freaking hateful? Like, no one greets you when you walk in there. And if they do, they're like, hi. Like, it's just, like, weird. Like, you get this, like, whole hostile feeling from being in that store. And, I don't know, it's just, like, a weird experience. Like, it's just not, I'm not comfortable. No one in my family is comfortable when we shop there. So, I've always went to that Center Court store. Like I said, except for when they were closed, renovating. So, yeah. I called every store on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever it was, I can't remember. And they were like, no one had them except that store that I hate, I dread going to. So I was like, well, crap. I really want these candles because I don't know when I'm going to be able to come back to the mall. You know, that's not up to me. It's up to my parents whenever they want to take me. So I was like, I'm not leaving the mall without getting these stupid candles because God knows when I'll be able to go back and get them. And I don't want them to sell out and all that stuff and have to deal with that. So I go to this store. The store that I hate going into, I always dread it. So, I walk in there, I have my little bag, I brought 3 exchanges. I brought Golden Pineapple Luau, just bought $11.25, that 50% off price at the first day of the semi-annual sale. I brought Maple Cinnamon Pancakes. I bought for $12.50 plus the coupon, whatever it was, back in the holiday time frame. And then I also brought back Smoked Vanilla, which I got at the Bath & Body Works outlet. Mind you, I will admit, it was a $7 candle sale that they had. So it was a lot cheaper. But it stickered for $26.50. So I bought none of these candles 75% off. They were $7 or more. And the Golden Pineapple Luau was 50% off. So I walk in there. I have my little bag of exchanges. So I just walk in there. And I go straight back to the... Oh, by the way. So someone did walk up to me and she was like, hi, like, can I help you find anything, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, I was like, oh, I'm just coming here to do a few exchanges for the new Times New Roman. I called them just the summer boardwalk candles because, I don't know, I didn't want to offend her. And, I don't know, the whole time I was saying what I was going to do, she just looked at me, she was like, not, like, she was, like, physically incapable of having a conversation. I don't know, it's weird. She just kind of looked at me like, So, yeah, that happened. And then I went straight back to the display of the summer boardwalk candles. And I sat my little bag of exchanges down, like, on the counter. Like, on the ledge of the display. They had them all on the wall. So, on the little shelves on the wall. So, I sat my 3 candles down. And I was picking up the candles, looking... I have a thing, I always try and pick perfect looking candles, like with no wax separation or small wicks or messed up flattened wicks, whatever. And I also wanted to get the lids that had the wavy pattern on them. So I was just browsing through the candles, like I knew what 3 I wanted to get. I wanted to get Summer Boardwalk, Salted Oak Bonfire, and Suntan, so I wanted to get those 3. And so I was just checking, trying to find perfect ones. And, sorry... my throat's like so scratchy. So I sat my bag down because I wasn't gonna hold it. It was kind of heavy. And then this lady walks up to me, and she, I don't know, like, you know how older, like maybe how like a kindergarten teacher would look at a student, kind of just like very, like, he looked at me kind of was like I was dumb or I was incompetent or. I don't know, she just kind of gave me the whole vibe when I was talking to her that I was, like, insuperior to her. Is that a word? Insuperior? I don't know. Inferior. That's it. So, she just kind of gave me that whole vibe. So she looked at me, she's like, okay, are we doing some exchanges today? Proceeds. I didn't even have a chance to reply. I just kind of looked at her and was like... She proceeds to reach into my bag, whip the 3 candles out, look at them. And she's like, ooh, these are $11 candles. She was like, you can only pick off the $11 tables because she knew I was looking at the summer boardwalk ones. So she's like, yeah, she like holds them out, like looks, like puts them in my face. I'm like, okay, I know what candles I brought back. I'm not like, I don't have some sort of disability that I can't see what I'm bringing back. And so she looks at me and she's like, yeah, these are only $11 candles, so you can only pick off the $11 table. And she was like, just so the exchange is even. Or, she was like, you can pay the difference. And I was like, okay, these are probably going to ring, like, the 2 of them are probably going to ring up, like, 75% off $563. So I'm like, I just looked at her at this point. I was like, okay, thinking in my head, I was like, okay, maybe I won't get this lady at the register, and maybe the person will just do an even exchange. Because I looked, while she was talking to me, I kind of, like, peeked around, and I was like, okay, she doesn't look like she should be, like, at the register or anything. So, I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I just, like, I tell her, okay, and she gives me my 3 candles back that I did not give her permission to touch. And so I proceeded to pick out 3 perfect candles, and I proceeded to get into line. And there was one sales associate working the registers because the store wasn't very busy. And so I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, okay, yes, I'm not going to have to deal with this lady. He's going to just do the even exchange for me like the policy states. And it's not going to be a problem. So I'm just looking at this guy. I'm like, please let me get this guy to check me out because, I don't know, he looked nice. He didn't look annoying. So, I have my 6 candles in hand. I was going to just switch out the 3 for the other 3. And right as the people in front of me were like leaving, in order for me to like get get this guy to check me out that looked nice. This lady, the lady that was like, no, you can only pick off the $11 table unless you want to pay the difference. So it's an even exchange. So she like walks in. She's like, oh yes, I get to like tell someone no today. So she's like, I can get you here. And I'm like, oh, kill me. So I walk up to her and I'm like, and she's like, okay, so do you want to pay the difference today? And I was like, oh, no. I was like, the policy on the back of the receipt states, or online, states product for product, no problem, like, yeah, the policy is just product for product, it always has been. So, she's like, oh, no. She's like, during the semi-annual sale, she's like, the policy is, I'm trying to remember what she said. I was so nervous. My heart was beating because I didn't want to have a confrontation. You know, I'm not, like, about that necessarily. So, she's like, during the semi-annual sale, the policy is, you can take back a candle that's 75% off and get a 75% off, or 50% get a 50%, or currently ringing full price and you'll get a full price. And I was like, so she was like, okay, do you want to pay the difference today? And I was like, okay, no, I'll just not do it. So at this point, I'm mad. I'm so angry. Like, I was probably like looking like a freak in the store. So I run out of the store because I'm like, my heart's beating. You know, I probably have like, I'm red as a tomato or something. Because, I don't know, I didn't want to like cause a scene in the store. So I get outside and I'm like, oh my god, I'm calling corporate. So I'm walking through the mall just like aimlessly, calling corporate. So I call up the corporate number. It's the 1001, the ending number. And I know that this number is like the one that is the corporate, not the online. It's the number that like gets you to talk to someone official, if you know what I mean. So I call them up and I tell them what happened. I'm like, okay, so I just went to a store and they were like, wouldn't let me do the exchange because she said I can only pick off the $11 table. And the person I got was really nice. She was like, oh, that's totally not correct. That's not how it's supposed to work. And I was like, thank you, I know. And so then she's like, okay. She has me tell her the mall that I'm at and the store that I'm at and stuff like that. So, mind you, I told you there's 2 stores in the mall. So, I told her, I was like, please call the correct store in the mall because I don't want the other store to maybe get in trouble for not doing the exchange when I didn't even talk to them. So, she was like, okay, our thing only shows one, or it doesn't say, like, what store is what in the mall, so I'll just have to call and check, and I'll get the right store. So I told her, I was like, okay, so she puts me on hold for so long. I was on, like, the longest hold. I swear it was probably, like, 10 minutes or something. So I was on hold, just walking around the mall. I was sweating. I was mad. I was probably looked like a big old freak. So she finally answers, and she's like, or she puts me off hold, and she's like, okay, so I found the store, and she's like, if you go back there, they'll exchange the candles, no problem for you. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. I thanked her, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. And then, so that happened. So at this point, I'm walking back to the store that I hate. And I happen to walk by the store that I love with the great sales associates that never give me any problems and stuff like that. So from the angle I'm walking by the store, I can look like right through the store, and I see the Times New Roman candles. And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know why. It never dawned on me to try and go to the other store because I thought they didn't have it because maybe they're a little bit of a smaller store and they don't have as much room. I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't even try and go to that store in the first place because I should have, because they never give me problems. So I walk in this store, and immediately all the sales associates that know me and the manager and the assistant manager, they all come up to me and they greet me and they're like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, oh my god, I had the worst experience at the other store in the mall because I was trying to exchange candles that were ringing 50% off or $11 or whatever, and they wouldn't let me do it. And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, we got a call, but we told them it wasn't our store. And I was like, oh, thank you or I told them, I was like, sorry for I tried to tell them to get the right store, and not call this one. But, so I was like, I see you all got the Times New Roman candles, so, and they were so nice to me. They apologized for what the other store did. They were like, that's totally awful and wrong and stuff like that. And so the assistant manager, she's wonderful. She took me back to the Times New Roman candles, and she was like, she even helped me. She was so sweet. I love the assistant manager there. She helped me pick out candles. She helped me get perfect ones and with the lids that I wanted. And she took me to the register, and we did the exchange, no problem. And she was even excited because I brought back that maple cinnamon pancakes candle. And she wanted to buy it because it was ringing 75% off. And it just made me feel great because, you know, every time I bring back some candles, I look at them and I'm like, okay, like, I definitely don't need these. I'm like, maybe a sales associate at the store or a customer will be excited because, you know, maple cinnamon pancakes there wasn't any at that store. There was all like fresh balsam, vanilla balsam, stuff like that. So, the sales associate, the assistant manager, she bought that maple cinnamon pancakes candle. And I was so happy. She has talked to me for a long time. She was like, you know, for as much as you do for Bath & Body Works, like advertising their candles on Instagram and stuff like that, and just getting the word out there, you know, you deserve to be able to do the exchange like any other customer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So yeah, that is the story of how I had this major issue at a Bath & Body Works, and I had to end up calling corporate. Ooh, something else I forgot to tell you. So, I was at the mall with my friend this whole time, so she wanted to go to a store that was back on the other end of the mall. And so we had to go walk by this Bath & Body Works that I, like, hated and couldn't deal with. And that had just given me this problem. So, this store has a very wide opening. It's, like, super wide, and the like, white barn kind of gets smaller in the back, if that makes any sense. They have, like, 3 huge openings in the front for you to walk through. So you can basically see into the whole store when you walk by. So I walked by this store and I see like all the sales associates like in a little like group, like in a big huddle. And I'm walking by with my new bag of candles, and like all the sales associates like turn and look at me. And they're kind of like looking at me, like talking about me as I walk by. And I'm like, seriously? Like, are you all that immature? So, they were talking about me as I walked by, and I did not see this lady that wouldn't let me do the exchange. I did not see her the entire store, and trust me, if she was in there, I could have seen her, because you can see through the entire store. So, did she get in trouble? Did I get her in trouble? Probably. Do I care? No, because it's extremely important that you educate all your sales associates on the rules, and, you know, be like, just make sure they know the rules so they don't wrong a customer, because the store probably got in trouble for it, and I'm not sorry that this happened, because you should be able to do candle exchanges no matter what. And it's really a whole other thing, because a lot of people try and bring back like burnt candles, like down to the bottom. Some people I've seen on Facebook, people like throw matches in the candle and it's all dirty and sooty, and they bring it back. I brought brand new 3-wick candles. The one that was the ribbed glass even had a lid that I put on there. And the second store offered for me to take the lid back off of that candle, and I was like, no, y'all can keep it. It's just like, what? So random. So I can't believe that they like looked at me and stared at me as I walked by the store the second time. So, yeah, never, ever, ever, ever setting foot back in that stupid store again. I never want to look at it. It's a stupid store. And, yeah. So, from now on, I will be shopping at that center court, food court, whatever, that store in the mall, because God knows I'm never going back in that other one. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you got a laugh, got some enjoyment, got some... I don't know, because a lot of people have had this happen to them too. So, if you could relate to me, I don't know, leave a comment below. We can have a little combo. So, like I said, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!